There's a very strong feeling around that people want change, particularly in relation to how they use their time. People get on a kind of a treadmill where they live to work and they work to earn and they earn to consume.
Money that you don't have to spend on things you don't need to create impressions that won't last on people you don't care about.
Our suggestion is that we move slowly but steadily over a decade or more towards much shorter and more flexible paid working hours, with the ultimate goal of achieving something like a 21-hour week.
Keynes wrote an essay in 1913 in which he predicted that by this time people would be 4 or 5 times richer and would work, on average, only about 15 hours a week.
About a year ago we published a report called 21 Hours, which put these arguments on the agenda for the first time. And we were so overwhelmed by the kind of response that we got that we thought, well, there's obviously potential here. There's a growing interest in finding alternatives to business as usual. And more people are prepared to consider the case for redistributing paid and unpaid time. And it seems that social, environmental and economic interests are beginning to converge around this subject. We had a public lecture at the LSE and it was packed. We had more than 400 people there.
The conventional wisdom says that in periods of hard times, such as the one we're going through, what we need to do is double down and work harder because we're poorer. That's the standard view, but it's a fallacy. One of the things about working hours is that it's one of the most powerful levers for making transformational change in a system, and also one of the most, I think, underappreciated ones.
If you look at Germany and Denmark and the Netherlands in Europe, you'll find that they all have quite considerably shorter working hours than the UK, and they have very robust economies.
Improving working hours provides us with what we call in economics a triple dividend possibility. Improving the employment picture, improving ecological outcomes, and improving quality of life.
It spreads a diminishing amount of paid employment around more people, and it helps to cut the benefits bill. It will help to free up time so that people can spend time with their children, looking after elderly relatives, being better friends and neighbours, being more active citizens in their communities. It will also help to reduce carbon because the higher earners spend more money on energy-intensive goods, so they have bigger carbon footprints.
Countries who are on a path of work time reduction have lower carbon footprints and lower ecological footprints. Countries with higher hours of work have higher footprints.
It's not about saying we can pass a law and get everyone to do things differently. It's about creating conditions, not about forcing people to change their behaviour.
It's not a naive question to ask ourselves, what is the value of our time? What is the quality of our experience in that time?
One has to try and recapture the idea that there is something called a good life, to which wealth is a means, and orient our social institutions towards it.
We want people to think about the idea, to get interested in it, to identify what the problems are, to come back to us, to challenge us, to talk about it in their workplaces, to talk about it in their families and homes, so that we can really generate a movement out there of people who want to carry this forward.